Hello, student athletes! How is your day today? I'm Ma'am Cha and welcome to my class! Are you ready for our topic today? If yes, give me a 2 thumbs up! For today's lesson, we are going to discuss about the motivation for athletes. What is motivation? Motivation is the foundation of all athletic effort and accomplishment to become the best athlete that you can be. To become the best athlete that you can be, you must be motivated to do what it takes to maximize your ability and achieve your goals. It is the ability to initiate and persist at a task. We have two kinds of motivation, the extrinsic motivation and the intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is a motivation that comes from an outside source. And some are tangible, such as trophies, certificates, or medals. While intrinsic motivations comes from within of the athlete or player, it includes a natural desire to overcome challenges and enjoyment in the repetition of a skill. It reminds the athletes why they participate in a sports. Intrinsic motivation is often best supported by a series of goals, whether they are enhanced skill set or victories in the competition. Intrinsic motivation is considered to be the healthiest type of motivation. It comes from within of the athlete and has the interest and enjoyment in sports participation. One of the most popular and widely tested approaches to motivation is what we call the self-determination. Self-determination is a human motivation and personality that address the athlete's behavior and support high-quality engagement. While some athletes are determined, others are having a trouble to become the best athletes that they can be. Here are the types of extrinsic motivation for us to understand the behaviors of athletes. Number 1 is the amotivation. Amotivation is a lack of intention to engage, feeling of incompetence, and lack of connection in behavior and its outcome. An unmotivated athlete might be heard saying, "I can't see the point in training anymore. I'm too tired. I don't like the sports anymore. I don't want to compete." Such athletes exhibit a sense of helplessness and often requires counseling as they are highly prone to dropping out. Number 2 is the external and introjected regulations. This one represents non-self-determined or controlling type of extrinsic motivation because athletes do not sense that their behavior is a choiceful and as a consequence, they experience psychological pressures. Participating in a sports or event to avoid punishment or negative evaluation is also external. The next one is the introjection regulation. It is an internal pressure under which athlete might participate out of feelings of guilt or to achieve recognition. As a result, failure is expected and they do not enjoy the activity. The last one is the identified and integrated regulation. This regulation comes from internalized pressuring voice. As an outcome, there is a behavior of guilt, worry, or shame. In this kind of regulation, there is always a fear out of sense of obligation. While in identified regulation, he identifies the importance of behavior and accepted its regulation of her own because it benefits her in achieving a goal. As a result, the player doesn't find enjoyment in this behavior. Some athletes devote hundreds of hours repeating the drills because they know that they will improve, even they do not enjoy the activity. We have three types of intrinsic motivation. The intrinsic motivation to know, intrinsic motivation to accomplish, and intrinsic motivation to experience. Intrinsic motivation is considered to be the healthiest type of motivation and reflects an athlete's motivation to perform an activity simply for the reward inherent in their participation. Unrealistic challenge can cause excess anxiety to the players, which means that the coaches need to ensure that the athlete sets a realistic goals. Conversely, if athletes bring a high level of skill to an activity and the challenge that provides is relatively low, this can result to boredom. We have motivational techniques for coaches and athletes so that the athletes could be possibly motivated. Number 1 is the goal setting. Athletes should be encouraged to set a few ambitious but achievable long-term goals, perhaps to represent their school or region in major championships. Empowering the athletes to set their own goals, they are more likely to accept the challenges that lie ahead and pursue the goals with enthusiasm. Number 2 is using extrinsic rewards. The key aspect in using extrinsic rewards effectively is that they reinforce an athlete's sense of competence and self-worth. And also, the reward should be presented to an athlete in front of all potential recipients with some emphasis placed on the prestige associated with it. The next one is using motivational music. Using motivational music is a good way to motivate athletes in training, and prior to the competition is through the use of music they perceive to be inspirational. This approach increases work outputs, reduces stress, improves task effect, and pleasure experience during the activity. The last one is the positive self-talk. Positive self-talk is athletes' powerful inner voice to reinforce their self-esteem or important aspect of their performance. With appropriate repetition, it can positively alter an athlete's belief system. To sum up our lesson, motivation is fundamentally about a change of attitude, developing a positive mindset, and engaging in positive behaviors. Are you ready for a short quiz? If you are ready, let's begin. Hope you enjoyed our lesson for today. Bye!